First of all, namaste everyone. Have wisdom. You don't have to go to places and make people upset because of your belief system. You will always find there'll be so many different people with different belief systems. And who's to say who's right and who's wrong? So transcend all that, all right? And think your goal is peace. As a yogi, that is our job, right? What is your goal? Peace. How to maintain peace, not only for you, for everybody else. So in every situation, behave differently. When you're in a situation where people are comfortable, no problem. When you're in a situation where people are not comfortable, please abide by their rules. And it's the same thing if you go to somebody else's country. You know, I always used to laugh when some of my English friends used to come to Spain and say, wow, where is a fish and chip shop? And I used to laugh with them. I said, but this is Spain. You should be asking, where is the tapa bar? And I'd make a joke out of it. And in Spain, for example, when I first turned vegetarian many years ago, there was no vegetables anywhere. And I would go to a venta with my husband at that time, and I would say, you know, vegetarian, what do you have? Vegetarian? What are you, a rabbit? So instead of taking offense, because they really just like, you know, where's this woman coming from? They really believe that, right? So I would go and say, yeah, what can I do? I'm like a rabbit. I like what the rabbit eats. And you know, just by saying that and not taking offense, guess what would happen? Oh no, you know, we can do you a chickpea with spinach. Would you like that? I said, yeah, but you put ham in it. No ham. You're vegetarian. We know that. And they'd go out of their way to help me. So you see, it's always how we react to things that will bring another reaction. If we take things too personally in life, you will get a personal reaction. So sometimes we have to really go to that place of non-attachment. Again, the great yogic rule, non-attachment. Does it mean you don't love? No, you don't get attached to certain things personally. This guy thinks being a vegetarian is a joke. Fine, his problem, not mine. Not attached to it. So I'll behave as a joke. I do not take it personally because I know how I feel, right? And I'm not here to change anybody else. Are you? Because if you are trying to change anybody else, you can realize one truth. You can't. You really can't. They will change when they want to or they deem it necessary to. But until they deem it necessary to, they will not. And all you will be doing is hitting your head against a brick wall. What for? Why would you want to take on somebody else's negativity into your own body? But somehow as human beings, and we're talking about guilt, we seem to absorb this thing of feeling guilty. We have to heal the world. We have to heal everyone. But we can't. We really can't. We would love to. I wish I had a wand, don't you? Don't you all wish you had a magic wand and you could do like this and there would be peace everywhere? Not on this earth. It doesn't work like this. We're here in a university where we have to learn how to look at our terrain. Is it rough? Is it smooth? And the university is studying how you're going to walk through the terrain. Are you in the desert? Are you in the forest? Where are you in this terrain? If you're in the forest, you need light, right? It's so dark, you don't know where you're going. So what do you do in this terrain? Get light. What is light? Knowledge. How do I walk through this forest? Learn knowledge. In any terrain, learn. What do you need? If you're in a desert, what do you need? The most important thing is water. So before you go into the terrain, what should you do? Be equipped. Make sure you have plenty of water like the nomads used to do with the camels. So we have to equip ourselves in this university called life. And this is where the Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali are just phenomenal, because it covers every aspect. But first and foremost, it tells us the most important thing that we have to remember again and again, that we are energy, that we are consciousness. We come from consciousness, we are spirit. And when we die, we will go back to that consciousness and that spirit and that energy. And the teaching is, when we don't allow our senses to control us. What are our senses? Sense of vision, smell, taste, hearing, touching. If they don't control, if I don't have this love of my life, I'll be miserable for the rest of my life. That's controlling you. No, I am happy. I have everything I need. I'm energy. I have it. I really have it. So the secret is to look within. You came alone, you're going alone, right? This is the whole conversation about life and death and guilt. But we feel while we're living, we carry so much unnecessary guilt. We can help people only by being strong. Today I got a message. Saying that, Nalanie, our world is going crazy. Now they want to inoculate us, and these vaccinations are dangerous. This world is mad. I want to run away. I want to get out of Europe, and I want to go away to a far-off island, and I'm looking it up. Would you like to go with me? Should I tell you where it is? And so I answered back, and I said, no, I'm not going to jump ship. The terrain is rough at the moment. I think I'm more needed here. We need to raise the level of peace. I'm more needed here. If I jump ship, then all the people that trust me, or at least my family, what's going to happen to them, and all the Sangha members? No, I am staying firmly put, no matter how bad things are. And if you jump, you don't know what the near future is going to be like anyway. This island may have other problems. All I've learned from life is you can't run away from your problems. You just need to deal with them in the proper way. But run, you can't. You'll get another problem elsewhere. But this is the time when we are needed as yogis, all of us, or as human beings with a consciousness, with an awareness. We are needed to be more solid now, more than ever before. Because if we start losing our strength and we start becoming weak, what hope are we going to give to the younger generation? How are we going to help them? What are they going to believe in? There's no morality around. There's no hope. Everything is just pain and sorrow and aggression and arrogance and greed. I don't believe that for a second. I meet people all the time, every day, and people are generally brilliant souls, everyone. It's just that they've forgotten. We've forgotten how to think. We've forgotten how to think for ourselves. We think we have to be led by other people. But if we all learn to think for ourselves and ask the most crucial question, who am I? What is my reason for being here? What would make sense? Ask that question. Ask that question. What makes sense to you? I asked that question. What? Why? How? And you know what? I didn't get any answers. The only answer I got was, make peace your God, from my guru, and that stuck with me. Because the moment I decided to make peace my God, everything else was in the background. The detachment started to happen naturally. It started to happen naturally because everywhere I saw cruelty or nonsense or lies or greed, I saw tension, I saw pain, I saw suffering. So I felt no more do I want to be part of giving this to my world. So the only person I had to fix was me. And this is what yoga is about. The only person we have to not even fix, to recognize is the diamond within. We don't have to fix anything. We just have to drop all the fears and the anxiety and the guilt and the worry, and that's what we have to drop, and that takes a lifetime. And some people do it in a couple of years, some people do it in days, but immediately you start this practice, immediately you start the practice of observing, of consciousness, asking these questions. Immediately there'll be a little separation from yourself. What do I mean as separation? You'll start to watch your mind, you'll start to watch your body, you will start to witness yourself, and then you will start to say, oh my God, I can kind of detach from this situation. I can watch myself. It's kind of like what you girls said earlier on. It's like going through this period of life with COVID, etc. It's kind of like watching a movie. And because you feel like you're watching a movie, you can get along with life because you're a little already naturally detached from what's going on. So that gives you some space to not drown in your emotions or your senses. And this is why I constantly remind you to be aware of awareness. Be aware. So what is your goal? This goal really helped me. Make peace your God. Because without peace, there is nothing. You get trapped in all these conversations of pain. I get hundreds of, so many hundreds, literally, of videos on conspiracy theories and everything else. And I believe many of them. But what good is that going to do me to get disturbed? And I believe a lot of what the other people say too. There's some real truth in the other part. There are people who are dying. The old people are in danger. There is a lot of truth in that too. So why fight with anything? Watch it from above and make sure you live your life peacefully according to your belief system. No need to get involved in anybody else's belief system. And when you do this with every aspect of your life, what happens? Your mind becomes very focused, very clear. I want to connect with the highest good. What is the highest good? The God in me, the divine in me. But the divine in me it's the same as the divine in everybody else. So you're constantly connecting to that energy source. That is where you're going to end up in when you die anyway, rather than focusing on stuff on this earth, which is all temporary anyway. So the whole idea of this teaching is to make us strong in these times. So of course there's going to be lots of different opinions. And listen to all. Just listen to all. And this is a good time not to comment too much. Because if you comment too much, you get into crazy debates and everybody wants to convince you of their belief system. Then your mind goes home and then you go a bit crazy thinking too much. So step away and get back to your source. Get back to your source. And don't feel guilty about getting back to your source. Because when you get back to who you are, the source of love, the Lord of love, no larger than the thumb, lives in the hearts of all. When you feel love for the world, you can enjoy life. When you're in love, you can enjoy life. When you love your partner, when you love your friend, okay, the whole world may be going crazy, but I have a friend that I love, and I'm spending time with this one friend that is not going crazy. And if they go crazy, I still love them anyway. That feeling of love will pull you over. It will get you over all the pain. But you cannot have that feeling if you are drowning. If you feel like you're drowning. Drowning in sorrow, drowning in fear, drowning in solitude. But you have to have courage to do those things. And we need courage. And this is why all the saints and sages tell us, on the spiritual path, what do you need? Courage. Because there's so much that's going to happen to us in our life, especially with the people we love, that is going to be so difficult. Either they behave in a bad manner, either we lose them through death, but there's always challenges. Or they're on drugs, or you've got a very sick child. It's always a challenge. And we have to be strong to face this challenge. And one of the things that I used to say all the time, when people used to say to me when I used to be quite sick, and I remember I had really severe pneumonia twice, and I was already teaching at that time, and I knew I had the pneumonia because I had weak lungs. And when you go through menopause, this is to tell you about menopause, when you go through menopause, what happens is wherever you are weak, it actually gets worse, all right? So if you have a weak mind, guess what's going to happen to your mind? You're going to start thinking a lot. Got weak lungs, where is it going to attack me? In the lungs. You got weak bones, guess where it's going to affect you? In the bones. So I remember somebody said, Nalanie, why is it happening to you? Why are these things happening to you? And I looked at them and I said, why not? Why not? Happens to everybody. So I'm not bothered about it. So, just live a good life. If I die, I die. I'm going to die one day anyway. Let me just live a good life. That is the most important thing. And at that point, I'd already felt I had lived a good life, so I wasn't fearful. Fear, guilt, worry, that drags us all down. Watch your mind, watch your mind, watch your mind. The guilt when somebody goes and dies, and after a year, and you start laughing again, and people look at you, she's laughing. Don't feel guilty. That's what your partner would have wanted. They want you to celebrate their life. They're free. They're flying. So guilt is useless. When is guilt useful? Guilt is only useful when you've done something horrible to someone. You go home and you realize, you know what? I didn't do the right thing. And that's when it's useful. And that's when it tells you, it's your conscience just basically telling you, do something about it if you didn't do the right thing. And because you have the guilt, and if you're not so arrogant or proud and have the humility, you will go back and say, I'm sorry I hurt you, I'm sorry I did the wrong thing. And guess what? It will be done in 5 minutes. But if you have the pride and the arrogance and you don't do that, it lives with you for the rest of your life. I always say, is it worth it? Is it worth it? So guilt can be a good quality if it reminds you. But if it comes to you, it's your conscience telling you to make amends. Listen to yourself. Remember always the Bhagavad Gita. You are your best friend, and you are your worst enemy. Nobody is causing you the pain. You are allowing it. You can say no. And this is in the scripture itself. So long as your intention is not to hurt anyone. And if you really believe in a higher power, you will really also, and this is what I learned also during my years of yoga therapy, I cannot save anyone. I can share my knowledge, I can support them, I can give them all the tools, but I cannot save them. But I really believe that if they use the tools, there is this great higher power and they will be saved. And I've seen that again and again and again. Even when they use a little bit, one tool, they're much better off than what they were before. They may not feel it at that time, but when I see them the second time, some of the patients, I say, look, this week was better than last week. Next week will be better than this week. And in 2 months' time, you will be a different person. And in 1 year, if you do this practice constantly, you will feel much more free. Much more free. And if you can see that in yourself, then there is no fear that this pain or this suffering or this difficult time is going to last forever, because it isn't. Everybody is helped. You just have to want it. I have seen that. No one is exempt. So I can't heal everyone, but the greater power can. You just have to connect. You can't please everyone. And by trying to please everybody, we end up pleasing nobody and losing whatever we have. My master used to say, you can't please everyone. So instead, please yourself if your motive is selfless and not causing harm to anyone else. And then you will be pleasing God. And I love that. I just love that. Because most of us really want to please everyone. And we don't know the difference between when we should and when we shouldn't. Sometimes we are there to please everyone. But we don't have the discrimination. And when I heard that, and so long as your motive is not to cause harm to anyone, listen to what you are saying. Follow yourself. Follow your own instincts. And that is the truth. And really, that is the only way forward in life. And the instinct of love will always guide you. It will always guide you which road to take if you listen. And when I speak about love, I'm not talking about personal love. I'm talking about love in the highest form, which also takes the appearance of what they call in modern psychology, tough love. Tough love. Sometimes for a person to grow, you have to walk away. And that is so hard to do. For their sake, because by you being there, it just doesn't work. So sometimes tough love is walking away or saying something that may not sound very nice, but really will benefit the other person. For example, a child who's behaving in a spoiled manner. If the mother goes, oh darling, it's okay, it's okay. The child will keep repeating that again and again and again. Are you really helping that child? No. So you can't say, stop the nonsense, or you get punished. People watching, oh, don't you think that's really tough? Don't listen. This is tough love. Why would a parent do that? Because a parent wants the child to grow up behaving in the right manner. Otherwise, the child will throw tantrums for the rest of their life, believing that they're always right and the rest of the world is wrong. And they will keep threatening the parents for the rest of their life. So if you really love someone, then sometimes you really have to apply tough love, or you have to let them go. But if you listen to your heart, you will know. If you are aware constantly on a daily level, if you are conscious of your spirit, if you are conscious of your right to be happy, your right to be peaceful, that is our birthright. Again and again, I think what made me fall in love with my master as well was when he said, don't you know your birthright is to be happy, that's why you were born? It changed my whole thinking. Prior to that, all the religions, you have to be miserable to be in this world. And here was this great saint saying, don't you know it's your place to be happy? But how to be happy? when you love everyone, when you don't want to hurt someone, when you live in truth, when you live in peace, when you live in harmony, when you learn to live this way, when you communicate with God or the divine energy or consciousness, whatever you want to call it, on a daily basis, you communicate. It is around us. Consciousness is around us. All there. You know, this is the chant. Punamidam, Punamida, Punat, Punamudachade, Punasya, Punamadaya, Punameva Vashishate. What does that mean? That is full. This also is full. This fullness came from that fullness. Though this fullness came from that fullness remains forever full. So it means that this divine energy or consciousness or God is always abundant, and this abundance lives in all of us. We came from it. If we just recognize it, then we will feel abundant. We will feel that energy, and we will connect with that energy. This is why the theory of abundance is so powerful. And I'm going to tell you a story about abundance so that you don't feel guilt when you have, but enjoy your abundance and share it with everybody else. When I was in India with my dad and mom on pilgrimage many years ago when he was alive, my father gave a lot to charity. He was a very generous man. He was very spiritual, extremely spiritual. Anyway, every evening, we went to village, and he was just every evening, him and mom would take out thousands of rupees, and they would count them and put them in little red packets, which we use in Hong Kong for Chinese New Year. We give money out in Chinese New Year. I don't know if you know that. But they collected all these, and they put money into all these packets to give to the poor. And I saw thousands and thousands every night. So one day I said to my dad, "Dad, I know you have money, but what if you lose it all?" I said, "Me, for example, I'm your daughter, but I don't have much. How am I going to look after you, Dad?" And he laughed. And he said to me, "Why are you worried? Don't you know I have only taken one bucket out of the ocean of abundance. Don't you know God is abundant? Spirit is abundant. I've only taken one bucket out. There are millions more. You never have to worry about that." And from that day, I realized that it was myself that made the smallness of life, and I changed my way of thinking. And I started to think, I'm abundant. And look, am I abundant or not? So abundant. Without even asking for it. Things come when you know you are just taking one bucket. There's a lot more. And whenever we have a need, it comes. Haven't you seen that? When you work for the benefit of mankind, when you work for the benefit of community, when you work for the benefit of family, whatever you need will be given to you. I have seen it again and again and again. You will get it. And it may not be a lot, but it will be enough. It will always be enough. A lot is greed. As Gandhi said, the divine provides our every need, not our every greed. And if you can think of this chant of abundance, it is full. We are full. We're all full. We all come from that fullness. Constantly feel that love. Feel that joy in your heart. I'm full of love. I'm full of peace. The world might be going crazy, but I'm fine. Okay, keep remembering that. The world may be going crazy, but I am fine. And how do you know you're fine? Right now, look at all of you in this room, over there. At this moment, are you fine? You're fine. And I'm seeing smiles all around. You're fine. You're smiling. Wonderful. Take a step at a time. And then this reality, because that's the reality. We are fine. All the rest is worry from watching the news or listening to things or people's problems, all outside of you, correct? All the problems are coming from outside of you, but inside of you, right now, this minute, are you fine? You are. Why? Because those things are not influencing you right now. And if you can make sure those things don't influence you in all those moments, and this is the practice. Rome was not built in a day. So it takes time. It takes time. Trust yourself. Trust the abundance. Trust that every day, can you all say this? Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And my life is becoming more and more beautiful. Can you say it? My life is becoming more and more beautiful. Every day and every way, I am becoming more courageous. I am becoming more courageous. Can you say it? I am becoming more courageous. I am full of courage.
I am full of courage.
I am strong.
I am strong.
And I will surf the waves.
And I will surf the waves.
Yeah, it makes you feel happy. I will. Do you see that? I will. Why? Because we're working now on the chakras, the energy centers. Where is the energy of will? Here. Where is the energy of love? Here. I will. Do you hear? It comes from the abdomen up. I will. And it gives you strength. So if you use the body with it, it really moves the energy fields. So if you've got any stuck belief system, it really does work. So will you do that with me? I will. And use your hand to help the abdomen move up. I will. Yeah, and one of the Chinese practices is really interesting, and they say to build the will, let's try it. You try this with me. It's really easy, and it's to do with the breath as well. Is you bring your arms up like this, release the fist tight. Now you breathe in, close your eyes, and now bring the elbows towards your abdomen and breathe out. That's it, releasing all the tension. Now this time, bring it back again, breathe in, and this time you're going to do releasing. Can you feel that in your abdomen? Breathe in, and breathe in, and out. Put your hands on your lap, close your eyes, palms facing upwards. Be aware of the energy circulating on the palms of your hands. Now bring the attention to your heart area. And observe the heart. Is it warm? Is it beating? Now bring the awareness to your forehead. What color do you see? Now bring the awareness to the back of your neck and the energy climbing up to the crown of your head. Imagine a beautiful white light overhead entering your body. Imagine a laser beam going through your entire spine, down your legs, all the way to your feet. Imagine this electrical charge of light and love. Feel it. Think of somebody you love very much. And feel that love coming through that light, through your entire body, down your legs, to your feet. Relax your shoulders. Wear a smile on your lips. And just be for a minute. Just be. And now, I'd like you to bless everybody in your homes, including yourself. And feel the light from your heart expanding outwards to all the troubled souls, including yourself if you're troubled. And bring the light in towards you and feel the strength building up in your body, and shine that light to all those who are suffering. May all be lifted from their anxiety. May all be free from suffering. May all be fed with food. So, as humanitarians, all of us, we need to think about being more human. And send mankind, especially the people around us, because those people have been sent to us for a reason. Send them love, forgiveness. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Oh yeah, you know how you visualize them? If you never saw them and you never had the time to even hold them, you get a candle. Oh, we don't have one here today. Well, let's just pretend this is a real candle, okay? You get a candle and you look at that flame, and do you know the sex of the child, male or female?
It's male.
Male.
Yes.
So you look at this little candle and you imagine it has a masculine energy. and you see that child as light, because that's the real child that is gone. So you get a very special candle that you keep in your altar, and you give it a name. You give the candle a name, and you name your child. And every time you look at that light, you are sending love to that child. And that child is your son, because your son is now light and always was light. In the beginning, in the end, and will always be light. So that's what I would do if I had not seen my child and it was stillborn. And I would remember him by giving him a really lovely name that I love. I hope I've answered your question.